Oh, my brother!
Hey everybody, this is D-Von here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we're going to go to Google and we're going to answer some of the most frequent questions that are asked by you, the fans. Why do WWE wrestlers wear underwear? Because if they don't, it's be porn. Well, we don't like to call them underwear. We call them trunks. We don't even call them bathing suits. Although they look like bathing suits, but we call them trunks. So why do wrestlers wear trunks or underwear? It's easier. You can move better. You have better mobility. You can just do just about anything in those trunks where it's not limiting the way you move. Some people feel very restricted when they wear pants. I know when me and Bubba first wore the camos, I kind of felt restricted. I wasn't going back to the trunks like I did on my independent scene, but I needed to get used to them. I would wear the camos around everywhere. Go to the store, go to the gym. I would make sure my body got used to it so I was able to move the way I thought I should be able to move. And that's pretty much why a lot of wrestlers do that. How do WWE wrestlers get their names? Well, there's a couple of ways. The first way is you might come from somewhere else, whether it be independent scene or another major company. They can take the name that you've had and get the rights to it by having you sign your likeness to them, especially if it wasn't owned by another major company. But 9 out of 10 times, WWE, what they do is they'll come up with their own name for you. Therefore, they don't have to worry about copyright infringements, nothing like that. They can actually say, hey, listen, we created this name, it belongs to us, and that's what we're gonna use. Now, going to other companies, I do know they basically might wanna go off of the WWE a name if you own that name, or if you ever got the rights to have that name and now you trademark it for yourself, or something that's very similar to the name that you once had on WWE when you go into another company. Give you a prime example. The Dudley Boyz couldn't use the Dudley Boyz on the independent circuit at the time or in TNA wrestling because we thought we had the rights to have that name. We thought that it was signed over to us when we left ECW. And when we asked questions about it when we left the WWE in 2005, we found out, unfortunately, that we did not own the rights to the name of the Dudley Boyz. So the WWE sent a letter of a cease and desist that we could not use the name the Dudley Boyz. We couldn't use the glasses, we couldn't use the camos, or anything that was like the Dudley Boyz. So the Dudley Boyz came up with their own version of it, Team 3D, because the move itself, 3D, which is what we use, which is the Dudley Death Drop, was huge and it was over. And when people heard 3D, they basically knew it had to represent the Dudley Boyz. So we were able to call ourselves Team 3D, and the Dudley Boyz were no more for 10 years. Do WWE superstars wear cups? Very, very few. If I had to do a percentage rate, I would say probably 3 to 5% wear cups. The other people just go at it and, take the risk. I was one of them. I don't think I've ever worn a cup in my whole career. And I know there's a lot of people that can say the same thing. We just felt comfortable not having to wear a cup. The cup could, set you back in terms of moving around the ring and things like that. I played football and wore a cup, and it was very uncomfortable a lot of times. So therefore, once I got rid of the cup, it became natural for me to go in there and to do what I do best. So again, I'm not saying that a lot of guys don't wear cups, but I'm saying the majority of people that I know, talked with, conversed with outside the ring, they didn't wear cups either. How do WWE wrestlers get their character? Well, a lot of times it could be something that the talent brings to creative, brings to the boss, gives them an idea of what they're looking for, and sometimes the boss and creative will go for it, and sometimes they don't. Or it might have been a character that you came over from somewhere else and you were able to use it. Give you a prime example, the Hardys with the delete. That was created in TNA. Matt was able to bring that over when he came back to the WWE, and he was able to use that, of course, with the boss's permission. But the majority of the time, and I know this from the Vince era, he would create a character for you Sometimes a lot of guys did not like it, but they did it because they wanted to work for WWE and they knew what it cost to do that. Give you a prime example, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He came in as the ringmaster and he was paired up with Ted DiBiase. I remember speaking to Steve, and I remember hearing Steve on interviews say how he wasn't really thrilled with the name, the Ringmaster. But I also know that he had this idea, which he's told many a times in his documentary, that he wanted that Mike Tyson look. Black boots, black trunks, and just come on out. Just like when Tyson basically boxed, he had black shoes on with no socks. He had the black trunks, and that was it. That's what Steve came in on. He did the same exact thing pretty much almost as Mike Tyson. And he was able to do that and got over like $1 million. When I learned about that, it's pretty much any character that might relate to the fans, to the people, or even Vince could possibly get over. You were probably going to do it. So you had to convince Vince that this would work, and he had to believe in it. And that's how that truly worked. Are WWE matches fully planned? Yes and no. The outcome is planned, of course. But as far as the matches go, a lot of times we just call it in the ring. We'll just talk to each other in the ring and we'll get it done like that. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn how to wrestle, it's hard to forget. You can do things in that ring that you know off the back of your hand. You can go out there and do what we call the basic spot, or some might say universal, where you go take the guy, grab a head, lock up, grab the head, shoot him off, shoulder tackle, drop down, hip toss, arm drag, body slam. That's been used by so many wrestlers, not only during my time in my era, but even before that. And it's as basic you can be. But again, there's nothing wrong with taking basic and making it into something. Hey guys, if there's one thing I know about is that wrestlers can stink. There are a lot of guys I know that could have used this product, MANDO. MANDO has sent me a few products, and as far as I'm concerned, the smell is very refreshing. Not to mention, if you know of somebody that has bad odor and soap isn't working, then MANDO would be the perfect solution for that individual. MANDO is safe to use on any part of your body. It works really good on your armpits, your feet, and even in the front area, that genital area. Perfect. Clinically proven to control any odor than any bar of soap. New customers will get $5 off their starting pack. Just use our exclusive code DVON at shopmando.com. That's over 40% off of your starter pack. Smell fresher and boost your confidence with MANDO. That's code DVON at shopmando.com and get $5 off the MANDO starter pack. Thank you, MANDO, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the action. Why do WWE superstars tape their fingers? Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. I pretty much was jamming my fingers, hurting my fingers every time in ECW. But once I put the tape on there, it didn't hurt anymore. Nothing was getting jammed. It actually worked. So I kept that on for my whole career. I remember watching Sting and seeing his fingers taped. And I just assumed that it was to protect his fingers. And I think the majority of it was to protect his fingers, but I also feel that a lot of it was because of the look. To me, when I didn't wear tape in the ring, whether it was on my fingers or my wrist, I felt empty. I felt like I was missing something. It's like when you're so used to wearing jewelry and all of a sudden that one day you leave home and you forget it, you feel kind of naked. Well, that's the way I felt when I didn't have tape on my fingers. And again, from 1991 to when I left the ring in 2015, my fingers were always taped. Do WWE superstars make more money when they're champions? Well, I gotta say yes and no to that. You could be a champion and pretty much make the same amount. But if you're put in that position to be champion, then chances are your pay will go up because you're the one carrying the company. You're the one that's going to be the face of the company at that particular time. So why wouldn't they pay you more? Of course you would get more. But again, there's some people that just don't receive more money just because they're champions. But I would say a large percentage of them do. How often do WWE superstars go home? There's two different answers for that, because in my era, you barely went home. Here's what would happen. Let's say you were on Monday Night Raw. You would start your tour beginning on Friday. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then of course Monday Night Raw. Plus, not to mention whatever stuff you had to do in terms of promotions, whatever they wanted you to do in that aspect. So basically, you were home maybe 2 days a week, and that was really it. I bought my house in 2001. For the first 10 years, I have to say, I basically didn't have the chance to enjoy my new home because I was always constantly on the road. But again, it's not just wrestling. It's promotional. It's things like that you have to go and do. Like, for instance, if you have to go promote a live event and you have to be in studio somewhere in that state, they would fly you out and you would go to whatever radio station, whatever news station, or whatever you'd have to go, you would just go. And unfortunately, it doesn't give you enough time to spend with your family. So you're constantly on the road all the time. Nowadays, I hear it's a little different because nowadays I believe that there are no more live events. It's just TV. So basically you might go out 1 day a week, or if you're doing both shows, SmackDown and Raw, then you're on the road for those 2 days. So you might leave, say Sunday. If you got to do both shows, then you're out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you go back home Wednesday. In some aspects, even though you're done with SmackDown, you'd have to maybe go to the next town and help promote that show that's coming up. So it ranges differently, but still, you're still on the road. A lot of times we would tell people we were on the road 300 days out of the year. There is no off season. There is no downtime. You have to be able to make it work for you, the individual. And you have to have a wife, or in the aspect, if you are a female, you have to have a husband that's basically going to be able to understand life on the road as a pro wrestler. And it's hard because not everybody understands what we do and, didn't sign up to be with your spouse only 1 to 2 days out of the week, especially when you have a family, because they're the ones holding it down. They're the ones keeping everything afloat while you're out there doing your thing. Even though you're providing for the family and you're taking care of them, again, that individual that you call your spouse may not understand what you have to give up to live the life of a WWE superstar. Are the Dudley boys friends? No, we're not. I hate that son of a bitch. No. I'm joking. Watch the Dirt Sheet Riders have a field day with that. No, we are friends. We were friends while we were in ECW. We were friends while we were in WWE, and we were friends in TNA. Together, we made a lot of money. We made a lot of history, and it was only fitting that we get along to continue making history in the business, which is why we probably was the most decorated tag team in the history of this business and considered the greatest. And like I said, I never considered us the greatest because there were other tag teams that have come before us that we never had the opportunity to get in the ring with. So therefore, you can't call yourself great unless you have been in the ring with those that have come before you. So I've always liked to say that we were the best in our era. This is why we became the friends that we became. Bubba's more like my brother than anything. I've been with him on the road more than my own family. I've seen him more than my own family, my friends. I mean, we both sacrificed a lot to get to where we are in this business today. Was it worth it? I would say it was. Would I say that certain things we did, that if I can go back and change? Yes, I would, but nothing too dramatic. But again, yes, we are friends. We were both on the same pages, and we're still to this day good friends. And now for the final question. Is D-Von Dudley still alive? Hello? I have a YouTube channel. Knock on something, but yes, I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. Understand this. Did I have some health scares a few years back? Absolutely. So let me set the record straight right now. Was there a stroke? Yes. Did I bounce back from that stroke? You're damn right I did. Not only with the help of DDP Yoga and Dallas Diamond Page, but another gentleman by the name of Bobby Fish helped me out because he's certified in DDP Yoga, which I'm proud to say he's been with me since everything. And I'm very happy to say that there's nothing wrong with me. I am as healthy can be after that stroke, thank God, because I did the rehab. I worked my butt off to get back to where I once was. So therefore, there are no more health issues when it comes to that. I did have back surgery, and that will always be a part of me, but I'm good to go. I'm in the gym, still doing what I have to do. And there's no way I'm gonna let a stroke or back surgery set me back and not be the D-Von Dudley that you, the fans, love. So to answer the question, am I still alive? Absolutely. Is my health good? Absolutely is good. There's no issues. There's no problems. Do I ever care to get back in the ring again to wrestle? Here and there. Do I want to wrestle full time? No. Do I want to wrestle every once in a while when called upon? Absolutely. Will I do that? You damn betcha I will. It's in my blood. You don't really just give it up like that. I don't want to be 90 years old and be in the ring, but I'm not 90, number one. Number two, I can still go if I wanted to, but I don't want to do it on a full-time basis. I'd rather come in on special events, things like that, like WrestleMania. Hint, Triple H. WrestleMania would definitely be one I would come back for. But, again, I'm alive and kicking and healthy. Okay, everybody, that concludes our questions for today on this video. I would like to thank each and every one of you for your questions, and please bring me more. Love to answer all of them if I can. Not to mention, please like and subscribe to this channel, and please get the word out there. If you like this channel and enjoy it, then let's help raise the ante. Let's get to 1 million followers before the end of the year. So get the word out, let them know about the D-Von Dudley channel, and with that being said, do me a favor, get the tables, and this is for my daughter. Oh, my sister, testify.